Hello, Poker News. I am here with Ben Mintz from Barstool Sports, and I'm here to interview him about some poker and the WSOP this year.
Thank you for having me. First time I've been back in Vegas since summer of 2018 in the main event. Feels good to be back, and just glad to see everybody out playing some cards again.
I love it. So, how's this year's WSOP treating you? Anything different about last year's? Did you play in the 2020 main event?
So 2020, I played a lot of online poker last year after COVID, but that was really it. So the last time I actually played in the main was 2018 when I got 327th for 40,000. Actually just flew out here from New York this morning. Was supposed to come Thursday, but we had a big Barstool Sports live stream with Dave Portnoy yesterday. And so I'm here. I busted the 500, played for a couple hours, one shell. We're going to regroup, come back for 600 tomorrow, get our minds right.
And I'm so excited to be watching you play that. So, you've cashed out in the main event years prior. Are you going to be implementing any new strategies this year to help you kind of make it further?
Well, the main event, so one thing that's weird is being a Barstool employee now, everybody's going to want to buff me more, I think, because everybody's going to want to show it and be like, I buff the Barstool guy. So I feel like I'm going to have to adjust my strategy, maybe make some lighter calls on the river. It just, you know, I'm older now, too. I mean, when I got 75th in the World Series main in 2011, I was 28 years old. Now I'm 38, so got to show that the old dog still's got some tricks in him.
You love to hear it. You love to hear it. So, out of some of the popular faces in your office, who could you take in a tournament heads up?
Oh, I like my chances against anybody in that office in poker. But
Me too.
I feel really good about that. We've got a fun poker podcast with Barstool Cracking Aces. I'm wearing the shirt. We had Daniel Negreanu and Phil Hellmuth the last couple weeks, and Barstool Nate and I are here, going to be running around doing all kinds of content the next few days.
And does anyone in your office remind you of any prominent poker players? For example, like any short tempers like Phil Hellmuth?
Well, what's interesting is the Barstool office reminds me of like an online poker house from back in the day, because you've got characters from all walks of life, different backgrounds, different places, whatever, but all open-minded, kind of different individuals. And so I feel like the people I work with at Barstool remind me so much of an online poker house I lived in here back in Vegas. It's kind of just similar, like that open-minded, and you got to be smart to make it.
You have to be, just like in Barstool.
But yeah, and you got to be not afraid to look like an idiot, which I certainly do daily.
And your dream person to play against ever?
In poker? Ever.
Dead, alive?
I don't know. I guess I'll say Hellmuth. He came on our podcast recently, and look, I've always been a fan. You know, there's always people on the internet, some online people don't like him. He's entertaining to me, and you know, I'm in a business with Barstool Sports. It's about getting damn clicks, and he knows how to do it. And so I guess I'd say Phil Hellmuth.
He's very interesting to watch. I'll give you that one for sure. So I noticed you also went to a very prominent sports school for finance, much like myself, also for finance. So what helped you change career paths to kind of get to where you are now? Did you ever go with finance at all?
Well, I mean, it helped with common sense in business, but I took a crazy journey. I was a poker pro from 2006 to 14, and I left the poker world when I was 31 in 2014 to go back to Ole Miss to finish, because like so many in my generation, everybody started making money during the online poker boom and dropping out of school. So I went back for a year. I didn't know what the hell I was going to do with my life, and my buddy called me with a sports radio opportunity in Louisiana, and I was like, man, if I can, you know, BS about gambling and poker and, you know, sports, I'll try it. And I got this job in Shreveport, Louisiana, did that show for 4 years, worked up to ESPN Baton Rouge, which is the LSU flagship, and then hit a miracle to get to Barstool Sports. And so it's been a pretty wild journey. Never thought I'd live in New York City. Only had spent one night in my entire life in New York and moved up there last year, but it's been a great experience so far. I'm really enjoying it.
Would you say that your finance background has helped you at all in poker?
Yeah, I think it just helps, just common sense, like equity, EV, you know, kind of just educated. Like a lot of it, like online poker is kind of like stock trading in that it's educated guessing. You know, you're rapid fire making a quick decision with all the info you have the best you can. And so I'd say it helps some, but I'm gonna be real honest. Graduated with a 2.00 in finance, went back when I was 31, took about 8 years, so I was no model student.
Trust me, I totally understand. So what else can I expect to see you in this year's WSOP?
So I'm trying to get my sea legs back because I hadn't played a live poker tournament since before COVID. So I'm out here, played the 500 reunion, I'm playing the 600 Deep Stack Monday, the 1K Super Turbo Tuesday, hopefully the Millionaire Maker, you know, kind of playing the lower WSOP buy-ins now because I can't just expect to show up for the 10K main and do well. So I'm taking 2 different trips, trying to get my game back sharp, etc. on this trip, and then I'm gonna come back around Halloween for the main. So
And I'll look forward to seeing you there as well.
Yeah, it's great. It's a lot more fun when you got a job, and when I lose, my light bill's paid. So I'm really enjoying it, and it's a different perspective. And thank you to y'all for PokerNews for having me, and Chad Holloway, who I'm all friends with.
Absolutely. Thank you, Ben, for everything, and thank you for the time. Is there anything you want to say to our viewers before we close out?
Oh, just glad to be back in the poker world. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Barstool Mintzy, M-I-N-T-Z-Y, and follow Crackin' Aces, Barstool Poker Podcast. We're going to tear it up out here.
All right. Thank you, guys, and make sure you follow Ben and his journey on PokerNews.com, powered by Club GG.